You're tuned in to Just One Hot Mom with host Nanika Ansari. Get ready. She's about to bring you that fire, that flavor, that heat, all that passion, and more from around the world and in your neighborhood. Stay tuned.
Hey, hot peeps, it's your girl Nanika Ansari of Just One Hot Mom, and today in the neighborhood, I promised a few ladies that I would get some questions answered for them, and so who other than my brothers from the King's Court? We're short, we're down a man, but you know, he may be calling in, but today I have Rick and Jason, and they are the King's Court. Can you say hi, fellas?
Hey.
Hello.
I'm so sorry. I just want to apologize in advance for the shots about tequila and other stuff that's probably going to be one of the
in the world.
One of the answers for most of the questions. But I'm always glad to have them in the studio. And so today they're giving me another crack at the man code, ladies. So you know what? Send me your estrogen vibes because I got a feeling they're going to be hardcore today. So let's get into it. Here's the thing. Social media is everywhere. Look, they already started. Social media is everywhere. We Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. What else is it, y'all? What else y'all on? YouTube. It's everywhere. Everywhere you look, there's social media. So here's my question for the fellas. Should you be friends with your significant other on social media? Go.
Hell yeah. No. Yeah. I mean, me personally, I don't have a problem with it. I mean, I think, transparency is important for a healthy relationship. So I think you should be friends with your significant other. I think, I don't have nothing to hide, I mean, a lot of times, you see people who, aren't in a relationship, for long if they're not friends. So.
Okay, so you're friends with your significant other.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I am. Yeah. So I don't have to worry about nobody, screenshotting my page.
and sending it to her?
Yeah, she have full access.
What about you, Jason?
Yeah, I think so.
So here's the thing. This is why I'm asking that question. Because I got harassed by someone in the room who will remain nameless about... having your significant other be your friend on social media and then people making inappropriate comments towards your pictures or your posts. It was Rick, y'all. So the question came up about, people like you post something like a picture, an R&B picture, and you post you post a picture up, and then the ladies come in, and that'd be like, I saw the post, you guys, and ladies was like, hey, oh, look at you, handsome. It was googly eyes and hearts and all that other stuff. And so wondering if you what did you think, your significant other, do you think that she should be jealous about that? Do you think it's intimidating? Because let me tell y'all what Rick did. He ain't going to tell you.
I'm not going to get an answer. I'm going to get a chance to explain myself.
He was liking the post back. And so me, personally, I was like, it's cool, but what are your thoughts, Rick? What was your thought process behind when you had to explain why you were liking all the googly eyes and stuff?
Well, let's get it started. Well, what it is that we have a very secure relationship, so we're not jealous to begin with. I'm just go ahead, throw up. It's fine.
I know. Go ahead.
You can hate, drink your hate.
I ain't gonna hate on y'all today.
But the thing is that we're very comfortable, opening our phones and stuff. We don't hide anything. And I'm on social media. It's funny because it doesn't matter what we do. As soon as we wake up in the morning, we get on social media and start going through our feeds and then I'm going through my feeds and we just talking. We laughing about something else casually, and then she kind of looks at my page and she goes, "Wow, you know a lot of females." And I'm just like, "Yeah, but I got guy friends." She's like, "I bet you any amount of money that you can't find 5 guy friends by the time we get to about 100." So we went through 100 posts, and then, they weren't necessarily pictures or anything, but I didn't get to 5 guy friends because they were asleep. They weren't posting, Sunday morning.
Okay.
But so it started to come Sunday morning, man. The women are up.
So here's the thing. So do you feel guilty at all for if she has an issue with you liking the post back? Do you have an issue with that? Like, do you feel like, hey, slow your roll, boo, you got me, or like maybe I should take into consideration her feelings?
It all depends what was said. I mean, let's rip the Band-Aid off.
Go ahead.
Okay.
I'm waiting for you to do it because you know I'm gonna go in.
Okay, well let's rip the Band-Aid off. I mean, if it's just likes, likes means they don't mean nothing. They don't, all it is just I like stuff that I hate. I mean, like I don't like cats. I can't stand cats, but they do some funny stuff sometimes. They smack their owners in the face for no reason. I mean, I like that. It's funny, but I don't like cats. But that don't mean I'm going to go date the cat. I'm just, I'm what I'm doing. I'm liking what I see, and find it interesting. But at the same time, I don't think it's a matter of, the likes is not an issue. I think it's the comments. The comments when they say, "Oh, hey, handsome," this, that, and other, blah, blah, blah. Those things are just terms of endearment, more or less. Now people say stuff back to her, on her page, and I don't say a word. So
you don't feel like anybody is trying to shoot their shot with you when they're saying that?
No, I don't think nobody would do it in front of the world. I mean, who does that in real life? I mean, they act, if I see you in the street,
some aggressive women out here.
Well, then you need to beware of them because they probably got some stuff that you don't want, you can't give back. So I'm just saying. No, I'm serious. If they that's thirsty or a guy's that thirsty, you shouldn't be messing with them. But at the same time, I think personally, I think our relationship is such that we get along so well. We trust each other so much that that we don't have to hide anything. But this one day, she just noticed I had a little bit more females on my timeline than I'm normally accustomed to. So, or that she's accustomed to. So we got into the conversation, and she, she hit me, she elbowed me, and you jerk, and then she screenshots it. She calls you. And
First of all, don't be telling nobody.
Yeah. No, I didn't tell her to call you. She called you. And then she's like, we're going to make this show. We're going to make this a show. We need to let the world know. And here it is. We're here today. Right.
For me personally, I think people utilize social media for all the wrong reasons, like to tell your business, to like, what I'm saying? Like, if you want to garnish support, I can see that. But if all your feeds are like sob stories about what you got going on in your life, and your life is that sad, then I'm gonna recommend you come to My Healing Conversations on Elevations Radio and get you some healing in your life. But I don't have a problem with you. Hey, handsome, what you got going on? It's when it takes it above and beyond. It gets a little like, hey, what you doing later on? Now, if I see that, I'm like, he at home later on.
Right. That's a difference.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, there's a difference in like somebody shooting their shot and somebody saying that you're handsome.
Right.
But I think it's how you handle it, how you react to it, because ultimately, these people. If they're like, hey, I want to get at you, or if they've tried to get at you before, versus whether or not they just calling you handsome. Now, you the married guy in the studio. What are your thoughts on this? Like, if somebody is under your wife's picture making all kind of comments and stuff, are you correcting that, or are you like, whatever, no, she is fly?
I mean, yeah, she is, but it's just a comment. It's when it goes further than that, the whole DM and the phone numbers and all that stuff. Is if she's gonna act out on it, or he gonna act out on it, it's different. It's not the same. It's all for entertainment, or supposed to be for entertainment.
Right, and I'm glad you said that, because I think social media is for entertainment. We've taken it to heart, and we've created these monsters for. I think social media is a great business tool. I think it's a great way to reconnect with people that you haven't seen for a while. I do not think it should be used as a dating tool. That's just my personal preference.
Right.
I think America pretty much has taken social media and given it his own life. It's taken on a life of its own.
Yeah.
Pretty much. It's become part of our DNA, so to speak, over the last 10, 15 years, and over the last 10 years especially. And I think what happens is that we become the person that we couldn't be, hiding behind our words. That comes.
So you're not what you're supposed to be. Like, you posting all this stuff, but that's not even really who you are.
I mean, a lot of people's lives on their post is all fictitious. It's all, take it for face value. I mean, that's all it is. I mean, what Lil Bow Wow had a picture of a Learjet, and then they turn around and showed him in first, and coach with everybody else on Delta. So I think a lot of times we're adapting to our new surroundings, this thing we call social media, and then we eventually we made it a part of our DNA. We had I guess invented ourselves and evolved, but it's not truly who we are. So when we negotiate, back to where we were from, we had to call somebody on the phone. You have to walk somebody around the park and everything
And
else.
you know what? My uncle always brings up this good point. Like, when you talk to somebody on the phone, you can hear in their voice whether they're sincere or not. We've lost the art of conversation. Everything is like, I'll text message you or I'll DM you or go check out my post this or go read that. We've lost the art of really communicating with people. And so you don't know if my intentions are to get at you or if I'm just like, hey, I want to give so-and-so a compliment. And that's where it goes. So I think, like, to wrap that part up, it's just that we need to get back to communicating with one another in a way where, like you said, you have a nice, healthy relationship, and so you can have this conversation with your girl.
Well, let me add this. I do. I have a nice, healthy relationship with my girl. Social media does not rule our life, but it destroyed my last relationship.
Okay.
And based off of perception. And the perception is that it was just something that, and I'll be honest, I let a lot of that stuff go way beyond it should have because, it's just where I was at the time, mentally. And then, so there's no fault of her own. I think she had the right to at least question it. But at the same time, there's no truth to anything because it was, a lot of stuff is based off of what you reading and what you're seeing. Nobody's having these cyber relationships. Nobody's going to the cyber sex room. No
You'll be shocked. Like, it's a real.
I mean, no. But what I'm saying is that me personally, I don't do that. I mean, I like to have a you laughing, man. I like to have a conversation. I like to, I like to be around people, and everything else. But I like to trust, and I think that's exclusive to the person that's special to you, not just to all. Sometimes you're just not where you're supposed to be when those things happen, and then unfortunately, it ended a relationship. So, I mean, it can be damaging, but it all depends on the person's how secure they are personally with whether you're the person that's being pursued or being, I guess, more or less admired or whatever, and then turn around and that question starts to come like, well, who is this? I thought you didn't talk to her no more, and this, that, and the other.
So I'm glad you brought that up, though, because do you think, like, jealousy is a form of insecure? I think we talked about this before. Jealousy is a form of a person just being insecure, or do you think there's a healthy form of jealousy, too, that, keeps the relationship alive, keeps it vibrant? If I think you're, like, a little bit, if you think somebody else could actually get at me, does that, is that making you vibrant, alive, or is it like, stop being insecure, you got me, keep me?
But I don't think it's the same, though. Like, being jealous of somebody is different than being insecure. You're insecure because you're not sure about your relationship or whatever with the person. Mm-hmm. You're jealous of the person because they're gaining your attention or her attention, whatever.
So is insecurity a problem of the individual who feels jealous, or is it a problem of the relationship as a whole?
I was thinking it'd be a little complex. It's a cornucopia. Of
a little
things.
Bit of both, maybe.
Because you think about it, it can be a matter of the person's past life and dealing with past relationships. Could male or female. It can be maybe the acts of the other person may bring out unhealthy, reactions or jealous reactions. It make a person feel insecure. Also, it can be something that is a predisposition. Through
you just automatically. I think we talked about this on another show I did. It was called Dating After Divorce, Distraction or Destruction, and it was like because we talked about it from a woman's perspective, like because we don't get over what happened in our past, we bring that along with us, and so then we continue and we lay that on the other person. And so, being men, how do you guys deal with that when a woman brings her past into your current relationship and she can't seem to get past? Like, is that a sign for you to go the other way, or do you work it out?
You gotta try to work it out because we might do the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh my God, they just admitted it.
No. It's real.
Yeah.
No, that's real.
It works both ways.
I mean, I can say that. Yeah, that I can personally say that
you brought stuff from a past relationship.
But like you said earlier, though, that you bring it with you, not intentionally, though.
Right. It's just something
certain things come out. certain behaviors or something.
So I'm wondering if you guys do the same thing that women do, though, because a lot of the women were saying, like, we just go to therapy. Like, you very rarely see. Why is it that men don't feel like they need to go to therapy? Because, like, a lot of healing takes place in a therapy space.
A therapy is for people who can't organize their thoughts and their
Wait,
emotions.
before you do that, I'm just going to let y'all know that the owner of the radio station, who's sitting right over there, she is a therapist.
That's fine.
Go on now.
It goes for her too.
Because she's going to cheat in.
It goes for her too.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But I think it's, therapy are for people who can organize their thoughts and their emotions and then can turn around and put them in a box and then turn around and then convey it
to that person.
To the person.
Yes, because it
comes out
to
wrong.
The therapist. Why can't you talk to the person you have the issue with?
Right. I mean, think about it. I mean, you have a person that is just really just at you, and you know they're angry and everything else, but it's a bunch of pieces of the puzzle. They can't put it together,
right.
But they know that once they get it together, it's a picture that they can kind of understand what they're looking at.
Right.
Personally, I think I do a good job navigating my feelings. Most guys kind of do. I think I don't want to be chauvinistic about it, but
y'all know I'm about to give it to him, right? Okay, so
it's the King's Court. Right. We stick together. You lucky the other cats ain't here.
Oh my God! And if you guys want to call in, the number is 440-252-0518. 440-252-0518. So the thing is, I think that you make people feel bad about having to go to therapy and figure out their situations, because sometimes it's not as easy to talk. It's not as easy for a woman to talk to a man about another man from her past, because sometimes y'all really can't deal with that.
Okay, let me say something, and don't take this the wrong way.
No, go ahead, rip the Band-Aid off, sir. You
therapist. But I went to therapy with someone once, and it was over our relationship. We had a lot of stuff going on, and it involved another individual and everything else. And I was just I'm really nonchalant. The only reason I went because she asked me to go. We get there, and for the most part, she, I'm like, well, look, this stuff ain't working out. This and another. There's this other guy. There's another. I would like her to not see him no more. And I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's to this. I mean, there's this, there's that, there's these midnight conversations, there's pictures being exchanged. I don't want her to see the guy no more. And she says this is what therapy. This is what she said to me and the therapist. I don't care what any of you say. I am not going to stop seeing that.
Oh, you know what? That happened to me in therapy too. When I was with somebody was like, but that to me was a wake up call.
So for me, I was just like, and, I kind of did the RCA dog, and that was the beginning of the end. And then about a year later, I met your sister.
Let's see. He gonna take that in. Yeah, what did the therapist say after she said it? What did the therapist say?
We both at the same time did the RCA dog, and he said, "Really?" And he turned around and started writing. And his
when
notes,
they write on that pad.
Yeah, like crazy as. Well, but you know what?
Robin got multiple questions.
You know what?
Yeah, I'm so glad it's another woman in the
I'll be
studio.
honest. I think it was just more or less something to do with an individual personally. It had nothing to really do with me, more or less. It had something to do that she really wanted to talk to him about something with her that she's never shared with me, and then eventually she had to go see him by herself. But I mean, it's nothing wrong with therapy. And it's not that there's nothing wrong with therapy with anybody.
But you guys just handle things.
Well, sometimes we got to go to therapy because you guys are angry, and we just want to go there to to keep you cool. I'm just saying.
So therapy is good, people. If you need it, please go to it.
Just so we can have a nice quiet evening.
It's not about keeping you quiet.
Or
it's
just
about
talk to your other person.
Yeah. We can. We really are.
He gonna keep harping on this, but sometimes it's not as easy to talk to the person that you're trying to deal with.
Well, because you're angry.
No, but sometimes I don't want to hurt your feelings.
You're not going to hurt my feelings. I'm a big boy.
You're speaking your mind.
So, I'm just saying, I don't think we should take therapy off of the table when it comes to relationships.
Well, we're not saying that. We didn't say that. We just said just not for us.
Right. Well, you can do it. I didn't say you said that. You can
Look,
do the
Jason
therapy,
like,
but
hey, boo, therapy is good.
When Jason leaves, he's going to go ahead. Man, I really meant what you said, man.
No, you can do the therapy. What I was saying is just try to talk to your person too. Even if you're going to do therapy.
Just be open to communication. Right. And like we said, I think everything we go through in relationships leads back to open communication, being able to communicate with a person. And I think if you can't communicate with the person, then that's like a red flag, a warning sign to just walk away. If every time I try to come to you and talk to you, it's you're doing something to distract that conversation, then I think that's
but you got to talk to me, not at me.
Okay, give me the definition of that, because I don't know.
Sincerity.
Yeah.
sincerity and non-threatening.
Say, hey, can I talk to you for a second? Not, let me tell you something. That's talking.
And I'm going to tell you the way. Can everybody at home see me when they start doing this?
The whole.
You know what this means?
He doing the thing. Like,
You know what this
when I do
means?
the clap.
You know what I mean?
You, I'm about to get
I'm
you
going to
together.
prove to you.
Right.
I'm going to catch you and prove to you
Right.
you a liar. I could do
and
better.
The whole head
yeah,
swing.
Yeah. And then they really want to, now you're not listening.
Right,
then they
right.
like, so.
Yeah, if I start clapping at you,
Yeah.
that means if I clap at you and tilt my head to the side,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
getting real
So-
for you.
By that time, you don't realize, though, that we already checked out.
See,
We
you
put-
guys check out in the middle of an
Yeah,
argument.
we mute you guys. We put you on mute. And then we don't say anything. And you think, you don't care. I don't even hear you. What did you say?
So y'all heard that, lady. So if you're in a conversation with your dude and it looks like, he get that little zone out thing in his eye, he has actually zoned out of the conversation. Walk away, do something else, then come back and snap. And hopefully,
Well, if you're doing this and you really going at it, and then I get to my phone and I start swiping through, I'm gone.
Right.
and I pick up no phone while
I'm
yelling
gone.
at you.
I'm gone. So my
Change
thing.
the remote on.
That's just right.
Change
Just
the
like
remote.
that. What that means is like that's a chapter. When we sigh,
closed.
yeah. Then there's another. Then you start all over again. It's like chapter 2.
Here we go.
Okay, so I'm glad that you guys brought it up because I want to get into the other part of the conversation, the alpha females in the relationship. So I was telling the guys, like, yesterday was International Women's Day, and I got like a lot of memes that said the future is female. And we know that there are females dominating everywhere in sports and politics. And you name it, there is a female that you could probably name that is dominating. Do you think because we are taking over that is causing issues in relationships, that there is just not enough men can handle being with an alpha female? Look at her.
Some men can not handle their emotions
Ooh, that's
when it comes to a
right.
woman.
Okay, I just want to make sure you're getting it right. I want you to go
Yeah, I
home.
didn't want to say
you
nothing
can't
wrong.
live with me.
But no, seriously. Some men can't handle their emotions because their woman is more. What's that say? I don't want to say the wrong word, but
Go ahead, say it. I'll
she's
help you
more
out later.
open-minded, I guess you could say,
Okay.
to how the world is going, and some dudes can't handle that, and and the other way around. Some women can't handle it, where they don't realize they're coming to their guy like that, so it causes problems. I think.
I've been through this before.
He's so experienced.
And I've been through different type of alpha females, and it goes back to what we talked about in the beginning: secure alpha females and insecure. So, I'm with a very secure alpha female that if something should happen to me, I know she got me, and I'm talking about really, got me. I think I'm being in good hands. And then I've been with some that they're strong as well, but sometimes they're a little.
They have themselves.
They have themselves to, they have to work
And
on.
that means I got me.
Right, and I got
get
me,
that.
but I don't know about you. And then you have some of that stuff is really based off of just, like I said, predisposition to, how you're going to be able to handle success. And also somebody's star shining brighter than the next. What that means is that you could be in a relationship and someone's watching you, and you're more of a minstrel show. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You're more of like, oh, I'm watching this, and I love watching them, and this, that, and the other. And then sometimes it's vice versa. You had a guy that's not as assertive. She's assertive. She's a go-getter. She's seen. And then he's watching her, and that's a part of his show. His show is watching her, and then but he or she, who are the people that's laid back, are finding themselves, you know what? I'm not even in part of the show. Mm-hmm. They're getting all the shine and everything else. And then there comes the jealousy.
And that's when the jealousy comes.
And then
Yeah,
comes jealousy.
but if that's your partner, you're supposed to support though.
Right. Well, I'm not saying.
But you know
But
what,
I'm just
but
saying. I mean, we are
What
stating
you're
obvious.
bringing up is a real conversation, because sometimes, like, you're an initial part of the game, you're supportive. You're like, yes, that's my baby, that's my boo. But the more that person's star rises, we've seen relationships fall because I'm outshining you, and you don't even want to shine. But the fact that
it shouldn't be about that in my eyes. If you are together, you're together. If you decided to go and further your career, I'm supposed to support you. I'm not gonna get jealous because you're my partner, you're my wife, whatever. Like, why would I be mad? Like, if you go get a brand new car and I get a used car, so what? You know what I'm saying?
We got a brand new car. That's
Right,
what, that's
right. We.
Yeah, that's.
It's
I mean, it's
about
not your car.
Us, we together.
No.
You know what I mean?
It's our car.
It's ours. Right.
And I so get that
What's yours?
coded.
What yours is mine, and what's mine is
having.
mine.
But in the realistic world that we live in, you know that it's a lot of times that there are men who cannot handle the fact that their lady is shining. Why do you think they can't? Is that jealousy, and that's an unhealthy jealousy, or is that just you need to step up your game?
I think it's a reflection. I'm sorry, but I think it's a reflection of your life, you know. And I think sometimes people, somebody's shine can reflect who you are, and you can be like, man, I'm really not moving.
Yeah, but if y'all, like I say again, if y'all together, it shouldn't be that. Well, she doing this and I'm doing that.
But I'm saying, like, I think it's a sign, like, if you get jealous, I get what you're saying, but if you, like, see the person moving on and you feel paused, that's what I like to call it, like, you feel paused, like, dang, maybe I should be doing more. Are you going to ask her to dog her shine, or are you stepping up with her?
No, but I'm saying, even if you should never feel like that, though. I'm saying, like, if she went and did her thing, or he went and did his thing, you shouldn't feel like, oh, I'm over here now. You know what I mean? Like, that's not. Why would you feel
watching
like that?
from the crowd?
You want to be two stars if that's what you hope to be.
Yeah.
But sometimes,
if one person got there before the other one,
right. But
what it is.
Right, it is what it is. Some stars are older than others. But here's the thing, sun is one of the brightest stars in our universe, right? Mm-hmm. And then somebody eventually becomes the moon, and what that means is that moon can't shine without that star. So that's a reality too. Mm-hmm. See, some people are afraid to shine on their own. Some people aren't stars; they just moons, mm-hmm. and they need the sun in order to illuminate.
Glad you said that, because we were actually in a meeting like last week, and it was a talk about how
you like that, don't you, therapist? You gonna use that? You can use it.
If you're a 5,
she writing it down.
Yeah, she writing it down. The star needs the moon. If
you're a 5, you can't lead a 10. I think you might have been involved in this conversation. If you're a 5 on the radar of people, you're a 5 and you're good at being a 5. But your other person is a 10, you can't lead a 10.
Here's the problem with that.
But we're talking in leadership, not necessarily relationship.
No. And then the thing about the 5 is a little worried about getting left behind. Mm-hmm. And that can happen in leadership, workplace, friendship, relationship. And sometimes that 10, the 10 will say, hey, listen, 5, you done took me as far as you could. And then the 5 feeling like, hey, listen, but I was there for the struggle. You weren't always a 10. I got you to help you get to that 10. How many sisters go out here and get their degrees in MBAs? And right. And I love you for it. I think I'm so proud of that fact. I see a lot of mm-hmm. sisters out here with their degrees. But the fact is, there's usually a guy there that say, okay, I'll hold it down. You go ahead and get your degree. And he may not be a college guy, mm-hmm. but it doesn't make him any less of a good man.
That's true.
But here's my thing, then let's do the reversal of fortune, because in the past, what we sisters have seen is that you guys will take you to the point. We'll walk you to the point. We with you when you don't got nothing. We living out of the car with you. Mm-hmm. And then you dump us. What Kanye say in the song? He gonna get rid of you for the other girl.
Are you trying to be politically correct?
I am. I'm trying to keep it cute. But here's the thing, but if we do that, we're considered enemy to the whole cause. And let's be honest, let's rip the Band-Aid off, because when we come back from the break, we're going to go into it. But if we do it, we're considered a violation to our race. But men have been doing it forever, and especially black men have been doing it forever, who have been saying like, okay, you got me here, boo, and that was good, thank you. I was wearing Polo Assassin, but I'm about to step my game up and get some real Ralph Lauren. Like, why was it okay for it back then, but then now, honey, look at her, you see her over there thinking she extra special? Yes, she should think she's extra special. Not saying that she should trade y'all in. I'm just saying, why the reversal? I look at him shaking his head.
Because you know what? Because I love who I love. So mm-hmm. I mean, I would love just going through the struggle with you and appreciate the fruits of the labor. But the thing is that I mean, I don't look at life like that. But I mean, a lot of people do, and then they will trade up.
You have friends that
no, they have, and they traded up. They trade, as far as them thinking, quote unquote, they traded up, but then eventually find out later on what they left behind ended up being the real gem. Because they missed They miss those days of just being humble. They miss those days of, hey man, let's make a bologna sandwich, and fry that bad boy and bust the bubble in the middle. It just put some mayonnaise on it, boy. That's dinner.
And now your new one don't understand what bologna sandwich
and then the new one doesn't understand what fried bologna is. So French fries and in the middle of the night type stuff, and no one understands that. The peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, because the fun's a little light, and y'all just as happy eating that, and not too proud to share it together. And then, like I said, so you realize, you look back, and then you see the better version of who you left behind later on, and you really hate that, but he or she hadn't forgotten. So let's say, for like you speaking in terms of women, when we see the better version of her, you're like, wow, man, I wish I'd have stayed. And I've seen a lot of just like that. And I turned around, man, and I'd be like, man, look, not to me personally.
You better clean it up.
I'm just saying, but I'm just saying, I've seen guys let go of what I perceive as genuine good, what they call a 5, but they really were 10s.
You just didn't see it yet.
No, they didn't understand what they were looking at. And then, so when that person left, they became motivated, self-contained, and they went out and did what they needed to do. And then they stepped up, and now, bam, they get, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully they get naturals. I ain't into that weave stuff, but
a whole nother conversation.
That's a lie. I was just playing. My mama got a weave.
Hotties, we're gonna take a short break. We'll be back. I'm in with the King's Court. We're here with Rick and Jason, and we're talking man code.
I'm not sure on the weave.
Talk to you soon. Hey hotties, welcome back. You are tuned into Just One Hot Mom, and I want to say this portion of the show is brought to you by Snug as a Bug. For all your custom crochet apparel, contact Snug as a Bug on Facebook, Instagram, and now Twitter. Snug as a Bug. Get it there. All right, so I'm back with my brothers in the studio, the King's Court, and I have to cover them because I don't want, them to go home and then call me up later on and say they don't have no place to stay because they can't stay with me.
He's scared. He ain't scared of nothing.
He ain't scared now. But we ended our conversation, and I told him I wanted to open up with the tension in the relationship between the black man and the black woman. Why do you think we can't just get it together? I was like, there's so often so many videos put out, like, well, if the black woman just did this, or if the black man just said this. Why are we fighting each other instead of unifying?
There's a 5-letter word: pride.
Ooh. Okay, you're gonna have to explain on that. You have to explain it a little bit. Why is it pride?
Because you have your point, I have my point, but you get the last word all the time. So pride.
I'll get a little deep on it, I guess. If you look at 450 years of predisposition of women being in the forefront. And we've been, I guess, more or less castrated and being displaced, marginalized, even in our own social circles with our women and kids. And if you think about that, she's always been the one that kept the family together. God bless her. You women, you black women are beautiful for that. But we're just finding our place now in the modern world as black men, that we are able to sustain, love, protect, provide. And then also there's another component that a lot of people have to understand because it's not so traditional. And that is to be part of a new nuclear pact between the woman and the man, and that is equal, and that's that alpha female and alpha male coexisting. And it's possible, but the problem is that there's a lot of things we have to push aside because you have, you come with different things, and sometimes you don't agree on family before you become one, so. Because
a lot of us have families before we join together with somebody else to make a family. And I'm honest, like, for me as a black woman, I think sometimes it comes down to, we've been doing it for so long. And so I feel like at some point we're like, okay, you know what? If y'all get it together, y'all get it together. If y'all don't, y'all don't. Like, I have to keep forging ahead. And so it was like the initiative to create Black Girls Rock or Black Girls Magic or Black Women Are for Grown-Ups, # all of those, y'all. And to create something for each other within ourselves to make sure that we could press on, move forward, to take care of our families. And then when you guys decided to catch up, not that you were far behind, it was just that we didn't have an an understanding of each other for us to be on the same page? Like, how do we break that generational curse? Because right now I feel like sometimes we're battling each other, and it's a battle that I feel like is destroying both sides. Like, it's a no-win situation.
Well, I think a lot of times it's a matter of just sometimes we got to check ourselves. You know, it's not just
each person.
Yeah, we got to check ourselves and just be like, okay, sometimes I need to listen a lot and talk very seldom because I need to receive the message, and I don't have to be an expert in everything. I'm very rarely right. According to my girl, she's always right. She thinks she is though. No, she's usually always right. So I just started listening to her too because I don't want to be on the couch. But the thing is that to be perfectly honest, it's just a matter of kind of just giving up some liberties within yourself that you protect so much. And then once you do that, then you're able to kind of sit there and listen. But then that other person, they need to do the same. They need to look at that person and say, well, he's doing it, so let me try something different. You got to try something different.
So we all have to be open to communication. Like, I think everything we've talked about is circling back to, like, we all have to be open to communicating with each other. Even if it's a conversation that may upset you, we have to be willing to have those upsetting conversations to say, hey, this is why I operate this way, because I saw a broken home. And, you know, my mom had to pull us back together, and she always had to push us forward, or, you know, daddy wasn't around, or he was around when he was around, he's abusive. Or even if we flip it on the other side, my dad raised up the family, you know, and my mom was going like, but I feel like so often we've been told to just keep those conversations within our own homes. We don't open the door to have those conversations and allow people in to be like, this is why I'm broken. This is why I can't handle certain things with you. And it said, but and I want to say it as a Black community, it's like whatever goes on in my house stays in my house, instead of opening the door and getting some actual real healing going on in our home.
I think that's because you're afraid to be exposed. You don't want people to think that something's wrong with you, and that you're not able to sustain, so.
Well, you can't say there's something wrong with you, or how alike they are too.
Well, there's another possibility. Yeah. There's a lot of similarities. There's barriers. Sometimes there's some polar opposites. But at the same time, I think
you might see yourself as much as you see the other person, and that's why you're bumping heads.
But I think like at least one person in the relationship or in the family has to be willing to be like, you know what, we're going to be different. We're going to be different. If we got to walk through and take care of your situation or whatever struggles you've had first, we walk through and do that first. The thing is that, like he said earlier, it's pride. Nobody wants to be the person willing to be broken.
I think you going back to what we said at the beginning. We do stuff backwards. So we end up creating families before we create love. So, and then before we create love, we don't create friendships. And I'm talking about genuine friendships that make you wait, find out if y'all can agree on things, see what your doctrines are in life.
Find out about their family.
Right, find out about their family. Find out what the expectations are from one another, and then just be friends. And and then you got that first kiss, and you'll remember it. It means something when you do that. And then at the same time, as the relationship grows, you start finding that you saying stuff, sharing stuff that you never shared with anybody else before, and you're totally comfortable with it. And then turn around. And now you're sharing stuff that you never would even share, not even with a therapist.
You're going to leave Miss Robin alone.
You're going to get us put out.
I don't care. Jump on me. Call Shaker Heights police. But me personally, I personally feel that it can work as long as you're honest and you just do things in order. We are so driven by our eyes, and I mean, you look at, oh man, I just want to.
But you know what? We're driven by our expectations for other people. And I was telling somebody, I think I say this all the time in the mommy group, is that your expectations are your expectations. My expectations can't be yours. You know what I'm saying? I can't expect you to be who I want you to be because you're growing into your own person. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, you know what I found out? I found out that everybody's style isn't everybody's style, So I'm not everybody's style. So you might actually have somebody that personally that really like, larger women, and that's their thing. And I got a friend. You can call it curvy all you want. But I got a friend that just he likes women that way. Well, that's his thing. Now that might not be my cup of tea, or his cup of tea, or anyone else's, but that could be his thing. Now, me personally, I don't care. I like who I like. So it doesn't make a difference. But there are people who strictly want to date people who look like they got washboard abs and they a certain build and certain size, and that they're okay to flaunt off in front of their friends and everything, and then they turn around and everything else is empty. I mean, that's their joy, that's their happiness. So I mean, it's just a matter of just what that is, and then finding that. But when it comes down to it, when you're trying to mesh a relationship, and you said something about expectations. You got to live up to just your expectations, and your expectation means everything to you is personal, and then you turn around and you say, okay, this is what I want, and I'm happy with this, and me personally, I don't need it. I don't need anything else beyond who I love. I love who I love.
And see, I'm glad you said, because for me, I think we talked about is that half of the people here aren't meeting their expectations themselves. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, here it is, I'm expecting you to have all these things, but I'm not meeting them myself because I don't want to live in the type of household that I grew up in. And so I think it's a matter, like I said, of having conversations with people, opening the door so that we can walk on through and we can have some healing. But first we got to stop picking each other and pulling everything apart. If she wear a weave, let her wear a weave. I'm saving y'all because y'all heard what Rick said in the last.
Well, listen, my woman don't wear a weave. She wears a fall.
First of all, don't be telling her business. Y'all see, telling people business out here.
So it looks really nice, and it's, and she has really long. She has really long hair underneath it, so she doesn't need it generally. So
she my thing is we pick each other apart. Like, I hear a lot of people like, "Ooh, Mac is making a lot of money, and I'm about to sue them because she don't look like how was she." But you know what? Like, who wants to look bad when they go outside? So you know what? Thank Mac for putting it down for you, for having that woman look beautiful. And then when you see her real face, just be okay. Because sometimes y'all 5 o'clock shadow or these beards is hiding a lot of stuff. Beard gang is hiding a lot of stuff, and then after y'all shave them off, we still got to deal with your no bearded face.
What's wrong with the no bearded face? I don't have a beard on my face.
You got that little thing.
That's right, a flavor saver. You put hot water on it, and I got soup.
He done told
you don't know about that.
Said, flavor.
That's saver. Right. I don't care about that. You put some hot water, man. Get a cup of hot water. Put that bad boy in there. You got soup.
I'm down with that. Flavor saver.
I'm just saying.
So I told the guys we were going to go back to this because the movie right now is at $920 million. Black Panther. Yes,
that was a great movie.
Yes, but the thing is, it's like it exposed so much about our culture that I think that we didn't even realize that it exposed. And it did. I'm gonna have to say the ladies held it down. You got to give it up because the lady was the army. They guarded the king. So with that being said, like now we have movies coming out because I really thought Black Panther was going to be all about. I had a total. Well, he gonna be out. He gonna be fighting crime. I did not expect to see as many women in there getting it in and with the action. What were your thoughts when the ladies came out and they was the warriors? It was not one. The only man warrior was M'Baku. That's Robin's guy. What were your thoughts when you saw those ladies holding it down for the king?
I think that was the best part of the movie.
Yeah, look, he about to talk about his movie.
Know, right?
Go ahead, man. I'll follow you. I'll follow you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, for everything, the stance, the message, the outfits. I mean, the actresses that they chose, it was just perfect. I mean, I don't think you could have did anything better with that. That movie, it had a great underlining message, and it's gonna expose a lot of you fake Wakandians next weekend for the Irish.
Oh man, I can't go to St. Patty's Day.
I'll be at work.
That's why he's saying it, because he's going to be at work while the rest of us are having a good time. It's okay.
I mean, I want everybody to know. I mean, Wakanda is not a real country, is it?
No, it's not.
Okay, I just want everybody to understand that.
It's in the Marvel world.
Okay, well, I understand that. I'm just saying.
You'll be surprised how many people thought it was a real place.
You'd be surprised. I mean, they got some work to do. But what I saw was it sent a message that probably should have been said probably about 200 years ago.
Yeah.
And especially when African Americans here in this country won their independence through Abraham Lincoln Emancipation Proclamation.
Education,
so what happens is that at that point they didn't have Twitter in 1865. They didn't say, "Hey, listen,
it's just about to go down.
Yeah, it's going down. You guys get on the next boat. The next boat to Ghana." in Nigeria and Congo, you know. So so my thing is that one thing about the movie that I enjoyed was that it had a great message, and it was, you know, even the villain really wasn't a villain; he was measured in principle.
Right.
And what he was saying was, it's like, you know, that technology and stuff, we can use that to fight back our oppressors. And then when when Black Panther went to his father and all the elders, and he said, well, why didn't you go back and get the boy? Why didn't you go back and get him? And then, you know, it was kind of symbolic of what we're actually going through. The other thing is, you said something about the women. I love the fact that they had dark women, and they were just so beautiful, even in all their splendor, with no hair, the whole nine. And then ones who had the naturals and everything. The brothers had, you know, had the nice naturals and had the dreads.
So you didn't feel no sort of way because there was no light skins?
Brother, let me explain something to you. I understand where I come from. I come from mahogany. No, there's no debate. I'm very secure about who I am, but I also know where I come from. I come from mahogany. I come from that Congo. So I can't even claim if I don't come from that. So that's Mother Earth, Mother everything. So let me tell you something. Mahogany is it. That's top, first priority. It's flawless. It don't even age. It don't do. I'm telling you, it's impenetrable. I'm telling you, the sun can't even get the heavyweight champion of the world.
He getting in his feelings. You know what's happening.
There's nothing like the mahogany skin. And I saw a lot of mahogany people a lot of mahogany people who were put in the spotlight for the world to see. And I think everybody feels a certain type of way. I say, everybody mahogany about to get the business. Everybody about to be the champion of the world right now. I said, I don't even mind. Light-skinned brothers don't even get no play right now. Hey, go on here, little dark brother. You take your place, man.
I will totally agree with you. It was good to see a variety of different type of women. Long hair, no hair, big, little, whatever it was, you fit into this movie. And so it was good to me. I think the most amazing part for me was like, I was telling, I think, the show I did with the girlfriends, and I was like, they disagreed. And you know, very rare is that the women can like disagree and still be cool. Like, hey, this my girl.
They disagree about Black Panther?
No, I'm talking about in the movie where Lupita's character, where she was like, are you coming with us? Like, I got the queen and I got the daughter. We about to go because the king is dead. And she was like, no, I'm holding it down for Wakanda.
Right. She said, that's my job. I protect that throne. Right.
And so, you know, that I think to me, that was the best part for me, because it was like, yay, like we can still work together. You can still do you and I can still do me, and we can be friends. And we don't necessarily have to agree on everything. Like that to me was my favorite part, as far as being a woman and watching them as warriors get it in. Like, you know, and she was still a vigilante because she really wasn't all prissy and stuff like that.
Oh, she flipped. She flipped. And if she flipped on her man of all people. Like, I'm gonna flip.
What did you think about that part though, when he was like, you would fight
baby?
me?
He's like, baby, you gonna kill me? She's like, without a second thought, I will cut your head off. You know, I was like, okay.
You gotta do the.
Yeah. I know we're gonna have it up.
You know,
have it up later.
So, I mean, you know what's going down on Halloween. Everybody's gonna look like they're from Wakanda.
Right.
You know, you better be ready.
Really?
I'm not even joking.
Oh,
like, the whole family.
I thought I was gonna be Bane, but all right.
No, you're not. And so I'm so glad you guys are in the studio today, because, like I said, like the future, we know, is becoming female, and it's not that we're leaving you guys behind or anything, but this is one question I get all the time, and it's because I have a son, and you guys, you know, we talk about this. Do you feel like, and we'll wrap it up with this, that a woman can raise a man? Because, like, here we have all these examples of these women doing great things. We have women leading wars. We have women on the field. We have women doing everything. And this is one thing I think men don't give to us, is that we can't raise a man. What are your thoughts? Because I have my own personal thoughts, but I'll let you guys work it out.
I'll let Jason go first, because my soliloquy is going to be long.
You can shorten it like to 30 seconds.
I believe so, because we need our moms. You know, their moms are there for us more than dads are, even when the dads are there.
Mm-hmm. What's her nurturing side? It's in her nature to do
exactly. That. And I think that, you know, moms, women teach their sons a lot of life lessons, more so than what a man can do. You're always going to need a man to help a man become a man, but a woman is there first at all times, I believe.
I think women initially are teachers, so that the child's first teacher. But because of specifically talking about our heritage and everything else and our culture, they've been forced to play two roles, and it's difficult to understand some of the young men needs. Sometimes they miss the mark. Other times they are right on. I got female friends that are amazing ambassadors as mothers and fathers. And so, yeah, to answer that question, it is possible, very possible. I've seen some amazing young men that are all men, that are all man, and just a good example for our culture and everything else. So it's possible. But like I said, it's one of those things that that woman has to be super dynamic. It's not just always, buying, J's when he does well in school. It's passing on some very good stuff. And I'm gonna give you an example. My son KJ's mom. And like I said, I'm in my son's life. I'm in all my son's life. They're all grown men now, but that woman did one heck of a job with my son. And Don, if you ain't watching this right now, I just want to let you know I'm giving you a big time shout out. You raised one hell of a boy.
I give a shout out to my auntie because Marlon, who was a guest on this panel.
Yeah,
his
he's
mom.
super dope dude.
Yeah, definitely a good dude. That's my guy.
Yeah.
But so it's possible. Anybody tell you something different? These guys go around telling me, can't no woman raise no man. And not only can she not raise a man, but she's the one that shows him how to be a gentleman. And that's not even coming from us. So don't ever get it twisted. Like it's like us as fathers and our daughters, we may try our best to show them how to be a woman, but we know we really can show them how to be a lady, because we know what we want in our ladies. So and that's what mothers and fathers do. If you can't show them nothing else as far as a unit, you can show them how to be a gentleman from a mother's standpoint and a lady from a father's.
Exactly.
But they still are capable of doing both.
See, what I always tell people is this, because I have a son, 14 years old, and I tell people, like, I may not be a man and can show him how to be a man, but I'm a decent human being, and I can always show him how to be a decent human being. It doesn't take, it doesn't take me being a man to show him how to be a good person, to show him how to be caring and loving, to show him how to be strong. Because it's not just men that are strong, women are strong too. So I always tell people, like, I may not be a man and can show him how to be a man, because I don't know, because I'm a woman. But I can show him how to be a decent human being, and he can go out to the world and he can contribute. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, I think that's what any parent wants, is to make sure that your child becomes a contributing member of society. So if you guys could give us a piece of advice as ladies, because we're going to wrap this show up. Ladies, I'm going to end on this question. What would you tell us? We're out here doing the takeover, and a lot of my sisters are like, I don't need a man, I could do it myself. For ladies who feel like that, what would you tell them a man brings to the table, and why you should? I'm not saying need them, but why you should want them. Ooh, y'all.
I'm yielding, but I
support.
He's one man. He's a man of very few words. Says a lot, though. Means a lot. It's powerful. Pierces right through you.
I'm a newlywed.
Yeah.
Well, that's I love you.
The less, the better. See, I don't know no better, so I'll be quiet, in the future. But I think I won't be quiet. But the thing is that what we offer is that thing we talked about earlier, is that we were one that went through the struggle with you. So the stability, the ability to, stand by you, go through the whole process step by step. And if, like I said,
you're the long version of what I said.
Yeah, that is true. Support. But the thing is just, remember, you trying to be a star too. But just if she's the brightest star right now, it's like I'll be a star too. Just don't be the moon, because you need her shine in order to shine. The other thing too, once you get over the wall, throw a rope back.
Ooh, give me a high five on that. I like that. No, don't even just throw a rope back for your man, but we need to learn to throw a rope back just for our people that we know need to come up behind us. I think that's look at you. You're so smart.
I know.
So,
She's still gonna make you sleep on the couch.
I know, baby. I didn't mean none of that.
I'm gonna make a plea for Rick and Jason. Y'all know that they just come on this show, and they come, but we have real conversations, and we are actually really friends, and we have these conversations not just on the show, but we have them all the time. We get deep with each other sometimes. So I want to thank you both for coming on today. But I really think Rick said it all in his ending statement, is that in order for us to have better communication, whether you're black, white, Chinese, whatever it is in your relationship, you have to remember that you have to bring that person with you. If you feel like you can't throw a rope back and bring that person over with you, then that may not be the person for you. It don't take a man code or me cracking any of that to be able to give you that piece of advice. So, hot peeps, you've been tuned into another show. As always, follow me and the hottest kids on my blog.
Can I stop you real quick? Why is she doing it little? I'm putting her on blast. She's doing the soft voice. My name is Anika. Sorry, and we're gonna be one hot mom. We don't want to hear that. Come on, do it just like you were just doing the show. You was into it. Let's go. Let's close the show.
Can you let him sleep on the couch? Thank you. How about that voice? You've been tuned in to Just One Hot Mom. I'm your host, Nanika Ansari. Follow me and all the hottest kids on justonehotmom.com and on all my social media at Just One Hot Mom. I am giving Rick a clap.
You didn't crack the man code either.
I did not, but I'm sure I will later on.
Oh, you wait till our other cat get here. It's over with.
You guys, you've been tuned in and you've been elevated. Talk to you soon.
Peace.
Later.